Long before the bright lights of Hollywood and the unforgettable characters that made him one of the world's most recognizable comedians, Jim Carrey was simply a young boy growing up in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada. Born on January 17, 1962, he was the youngest of 4 children in a family that valued creativity but constantly struggled to stay financially afloat. His father, Percy Carrey, loved music and had once dreamed of becoming a professional saxophone player, but life led him toward accounting instead. Jim's mother, Kathleen, dealt with ongoing health challenges that often made daily life difficult. Although money was always tight, the Carrey household was filled with imagination. Jim quickly discovered that making funny faces, mimicking voices, and turning ordinary moments into comedy could brighten even the hardest days. Family members often laughed at his endless impressions, and those early reactions gave him confidence long before he ever stepped onto a stage. At school, however, life was less encouraging. He was known as the class clown, entertaining classmates whenever he could, but that same energy frequently got him into trouble with teachers. Even so, comedy became his escape. While other children dreamed of becoming athletes or firefighters, Jim dreamed of making people laugh. He believed that if he could bring joy to others, perhaps he could also help his own family forget their worries, even if only for a few moments. Those childhood experiences quietly laid the foundation for the extraordinary career that would eventually follow. When everything changed overnight, life took a dramatic turn during Jim's teenage years when his father unexpectedly lost his job. The family's financial security disappeared almost overnight, forcing everyone to adjust to a completely different reality. They accepted whatever work they could find, including janitorial jobs that helped keep food on the table while they searched for something better. Jim balanced school with long hours of work, often arriving exhausted and struggling to focus in class. The pressure of helping support his family became part of his daily routine long before most teenagers had to think about such responsibilities. Despite the challenges, Percy continued encouraging his son to pursue comedy whenever possible, believing Jim possessed a rare gift that deserved a chance to grow. That encouragement proved invaluable. Instead of allowing difficult circumstances to define him, Jim transformed frustration into determination. He practiced impressions in front of mirrors, developed original characters, and dreamed of performing before audiences much larger than the family living room. Although the road ahead seemed uncertain, those difficult years taught him resilience, discipline, and empathy. Later in life, Jim often reflected on how watching his father sacrifice personal dreams for financial security shaped his own outlook. He came to believe that choosing the safe path carried its own risks, a lesson that would eventually inspire one of his most quoted speeches. Rather than letting hardship extinguish his ambition, Jim used it as fuel, quietly preparing himself for opportunities that had not yet arrived. Learning to fail before learning to succeed, Jim's earliest performances were far from the instant successes many people imagine today. As a teenager, he began performing stand-up comedy in Toronto clubs, where audiences could be brutally honest. His first appearances often ended with awkward silence or polite applause rather than roaring laughter. Like countless comedians before him, he learned that every unsuccessful performance offered valuable lessons about timing, confidence, and connecting with an audience. Instead of quitting, he carefully studied what worked and what didn't, gradually replacing celebrity impressions with original material that showcased his remarkable physical comedy. His father remained one of his strongest supporters, driving him to clubs whenever possible and encouraging him after disappointing nights. Those moments strengthened both Jim's confidence and their relationship. By the early 1980s, his persistence began opening new doors. Small television appearances and comedy club performances introduced him to industry professionals who recognized his unusual talent. Although success remained distant, people were beginning to notice the young comedian whose face seemed capable of expressing emotions that few performers could match. Behind every performance stood years of practice, rejection, and relentless self-improvement. Rather than viewing failure as evidence that he lacked talent, Jim treated each setback as another step toward becoming the performer he hoped to be. That willingness to embrace disappointment became one of the defining characteristics of his career, and prepared him for the opportunities that would soon transform his life forever. A leap of faith toward Hollywood. Determined to chase bigger opportunities, Jim eventually moved to Los Angeles with little more than ambition and confidence in his abilities. Like many aspiring actors, he faced uncertain days filled with auditions, temporary jobs, and constant rejection. Money remained scarce, but his performances at famous comedy clubs gradually earned attention from established entertainers who admired his originality. Veteran comedian Rodney Dangerfield recognized Jim's potential and invited him to perform as an opening act during his tour, giving the young comedian valuable experience in front of large audiences. Television roles soon followed, though most were brief and did little to establish his career. Projects like The Duck Factory hinted at his potential, but failed to become lasting successes. Even so, Jim refused to give up. Each opportunity allowed him to sharpen his craft while introducing him to more people within the entertainment industry. Throughout these years, he continued developing the energetic style that would later become his trademark, blending rapid-fire impressions, exaggerated facial expressions, and fearless physical comedy into something entirely his own. Rather than trying to imitate established stars, he embraced his uniqueness, believing audiences would eventually connect with his originality. That confidence proved essential because genuine breakthroughs rarely happen overnight. Every unsuccessful pilot, every overlooked audition, and every canceled project became part of the journey that slowly carried Jim from struggling performer to rising comedian. His Hollywood dream survived not because success arrived quickly, but because he refused to stop believing in it. The sketch show that changed everything. Jim Carrey's career reached a turning point in 1990 when he joined the groundbreaking sketch comedy series In Living Color. Surrounded by an exceptionally talented cast, he finally found the perfect stage for his limitless imagination. Week after week, viewers watched him transform into unforgettable characters through fearless physical comedy, elastic facial expressions, and a willingness to take creative risks that few performers would even attempt. Among his most memorable creations was Fire Marshal Bill, whose outrageous safety demonstrations became one of the show's signature sketches. Audiences quickly embraced Jim's unpredictable style, and his popularity soared. More importantly, industry executives began realizing that his talents extended far beyond traditional sketch comedy. Directors and producers saw someone capable of carrying major films on his own. The exposure from In Living Color opened doors that had previously remained closed, leading directly to the movie opportunities that would define the next stage of his career. Although the demanding schedule required extraordinary energy and dedication, Jim approached every performance with remarkable enthusiasm, constantly searching for new ways to surprise audiences. Years of struggle had prepared him for this moment, and he made the most of it. The show became the bridge between anonymous comedian and international star, proving that persistence, originality, and unwavering belief in one's abilities could eventually overcome even the longest odds. For Jim Carrey, everything that had happened during his childhood and early career had quietly been leading to this breakthrough, a remarkable year that made him a global star. If In Living Color introduced Jim Carrey to television audiences, 1994 transformed him into one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Within a single year, he appeared in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber, three films that each became enormous commercial successes and showcased different sides of his comedic talent. His fearless improvisation, unforgettable catchphrases, and unmatched physical performances made him unlike anyone audiences had seen before. Critics were divided, but moviegoers embraced his originality, turning him into one of Hollywood's most bankable actors almost overnight. The success also dramatically changed his career, allowing him to command leading roles and larger salaries while giving him the freedom to explore more ambitious projects. Yet despite the fame, Jim often spoke about how success did not erase the lessons of his early years. He never forgot the financial struggles his family endured or the sacrifices his parents made to help him pursue his dream. Those memories remained an important part of his identity, even as millions of fans around the world celebrated his work. The remarkable achievements of 1994 were not simply the result of luck. They represented the reward for years of perseverance, resilience, and belief in a dream that had begun in a modest Canadian home where a young boy discovered that making people laugh could sometimes be the brightest light during life's darkest moments. Beyond comedy, discovering a new side of Jim Carrey. After conquering comedy, Jim Carrey faced a challenge that many successful comedians never overcome, convincing audiences and critics that he could do much more than make people laugh. Instead of repeating the same style that had made him famous, he deliberately sought roles that demanded emotional depth and vulnerability. That decision led to films such as The Truman Show, where he portrayed an ordinary man slowly realizing that his entire life had been broadcast as a television program without his knowledge. The performance surprised audiences around the world, revealing a quieter and more thoughtful side of Jim that many had never seen before. His work earned widespread praise and a Golden Globe Award, proving that he possessed remarkable dramatic ability alongside his gift for comedy. He continued exploring that path with Man on the Moon, portraying comedian Andy Kaufman with extraordinary dedication, and later with Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, a film that remains one of the most admired performances of his career. These projects demonstrated that behind the energetic expressions and larger-than-life characters was an actor capable of conveying heartbreak, hope, confusion, and resilience with equal authenticity. For Jim, these roles represented more than career milestones. They were opportunities to challenge himself creatively and to show that laughter and vulnerability often exist side by side. Audiences who had grown up quoting his funniest lines suddenly discovered a performer whose greatest strength might not have been comedy alone, but his willingness to reveal genuine humanity through every role he accepted. Success could not silence every inner battle. Although Jim Carrey became one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors, he has spoken openly over the years about the emotional challenges that continued even after achieving extraordinary success. In various interviews, he explained that fame and financial security did not automatically bring lasting happiness. Instead, they often highlighted questions about purpose, identity, and fulfillment that success alone could not answer. Rather than hiding those struggles, Jim gradually chose to discuss them publicly, encouraging conversations about emotional well-being and the importance of seeking help when needed. His honesty resonated with many people who had assumed that celebrities lived carefree lives untouched by ordinary difficulties. Through different periods of his career, he stepped away from acting to focus on personal growth, reflection, and recovery from burnout. He also became increasingly selective about the projects he accepted, preferring work that felt meaningful instead of simply chasing another blockbuster. Friends and colleagues frequently described him as deeply thoughtful, philosophical, and constantly searching for a greater understanding of life beyond the entertainment industry. While the public often remembered the energetic performer who never seemed to stop smiling, Jim himself reminded audiences that every person carries invisible struggles. His willingness to acknowledge that reality helped reduce the stigma surrounding conversations about mental health and demonstrated that strength is often found not in pretending everything is perfect, but in honestly recognizing life's challenges while continuing to move forward with hope. Finding peace through creativity, reflection, and giving back. As the years passed, Jim Carrey discovered that creativity extended far beyond acting. Painting became one of his greatest passions, providing a quiet space where he could express thoughts and emotions without the pressure of cameras or audiences. His artwork reflected imagination, spirituality, and personal reflection, revealing another side of a man many people knew only through comedy. Alongside painting, he devoted more time to reading, meditation, and exploring philosophical ideas that encouraged him to view life from a broader perspective. Public conversations increasingly focused on gratitude, forgiveness, and living in the present rather than chasing constant achievement. Whether speaking at charitable events, supporting community organizations, or sharing reflections during interviews, Jim often encouraged people to pursue kindness, compassion, and self-discovery. He repeatedly emphasized that true success is measured not only by awards or financial accomplishments, but also by the positive impact people have on one another. His journey inspired many fans to think differently about their own lives, reminding them that careers and achievements matter, yet personal peace and meaningful relationships matter even more. Through art, writing, public speaking, and selective acting projects, Jim gradually built a life centered less on constant performance and more on authentic self-expression. The comedian who had once relied entirely on laughter to communicate discovered that silence, reflection, and creativity could be just as powerful in helping both himself and others navigate life's uncertainties. A lasting return to the screen and an evolving legacy. Even after suggesting that retirement might be near, Jim Carrey proved that his connection with audiences remained as strong as ever. His return as the unforgettable Dr. Robotnik in the Sonic the Hedgehog films introduced him to a new generation while delighting longtime fans who had followed his career for decades. His energetic performance reminded viewers why he had become such a beloved entertainer in the first place, combining physical comedy, expressive facial movements, and impeccable comic timing with the confidence that only years of experience could bring. Yet this stage of his career also reflected a noticeable shift in priorities. Jim openly acknowledged that he wanted to spend more time painting, enjoying a quieter lifestyle, and choosing projects that genuinely interested him rather than maintaining an endless production schedule. Instead of measuring success by the number of films he completed, he began valuing creative freedom and personal balance above everything else. That evolution resonated with many admirers who appreciated seeing someone redefine success on his own terms. Rather than trying to recreate the non-stop pace of the 1990s, Jim embraced the idea that careers naturally evolve as people grow. His willingness to step away, return when inspired, and remain authentic throughout those changes demonstrated that longevity in entertainment is not simply about staying visible. It is about continuing to create work that feels meaningful while remaining true to oneself. The man behind the smile. Looking back across more than 4 decades in entertainment, Jim Carrey's story is about far more than box office records, awards, or unforgettable movie characters. It is the story of a boy who grew up in a family facing financial hardship, discovered hope through humor, and transformed that gift into a career that brought joy to millions around the world. Along the way, he experienced extraordinary triumphs, personal disappointments, creative risks, and periods of deep reflection that shaped him both as an artist and as a person. Instead of allowing difficult experiences to define him, he repeatedly chose growth, learning, and reinvention. Whether audiences remember him as Ace Ventura, Stanley Ipkiss, Lloyd Christmas, Truman Burbank, Joel Barish, or Dr. Robotnik, each performance reflects the dedication of an actor who constantly challenged himself to explore something new. Beyond the screen, his openness about personal struggles, his passion for art, and his search for inner peace have inspired countless people to view success through a different lens. Jim has often suggested that happiness cannot be found solely through fame or wealth, but through authenticity, gratitude, creativity, and meaningful human connection. That message may ultimately become his greatest legacy. While generations will continue laughing at his classic films, they may also remember the thoughtful individual behind those performances, a man who spent a lifetime proving that resilience, compassion, and hope can coexist with humor, and that sometimes the brightest smiles are created by people who have learned to keep moving forward despite life's greatest challenges.